sort of question in terms of injuries. How's Harry Smith and is Billy Bowden sort of available at this point?
Harry Smith ain't trained for a couple of days, and it don't look like he's going to today. Billy Bowden got through 60 odd minutes the other day, scored a wonderful goal, so he's put himself right in the frame. John McGregor got a whole game into him, all apart from the last 10 minutes, so that was really good. 2-2 draw with Forest Green, which was a great exercise, wonderful training ground they've got. So hopefully we can keep people up to speed, although we got another game next Tuesday as well, so hopefully they won't lose out if they're not starting. So yeah, has it been a good week? I've had better, but there you go.
Do we have to put Harry as doubtful at least?
Yeah.
At this stage?
Yeah.
And are Joel and Billy sort of available for?
They'll be available. They'll be in the squad. Yeah. Finn Munro's got tonsillitis. Got to see how he is this morning. He wasn't feeling well yesterday. I think the lads thought it was an excuse for training poorly, but he really wasn't feeling very well. So his nan's been brilliant. She told him to go to the pharmacy, and he went to the pharmacy, saw his throat because he was feeling so bad at home. His nan's brilliant, honestly. She told him the other day, put a bag of ice on it, and it did. He came in, he was brilliant. So you never know. His gran could have saved the day, and I'm not joking. It is amazing. Us older people, we know what we're doing. We were just talking off air about it. So well done to Finn's nan. Hopefully he'll be all right because he'd have got some antibiotics into him. So, but it is what it is. We'll see. Whoever I can pick, I like the look of us. I like the subs and I like the starters, and it's about learning how to win, really. Last week's bitterly disappointing. Even if we'd have got a point, it'd have felt at least how we deserved to be. But now that's, but we just got to learn. We've got to learn. We've got a lot of young men, got some really good senior ones, and it will always be a test if Harry's not fit, because he's a very special player for us. So, but there's other people I'll put up there. We might have to do things slightly differently. But as I say, we don't know yet. I don't know until I see. But last night he looked like he wasn't training today, but we'll see.
And how are you doing in terms of sort of transfer in and out at the moment?
We lost the one we were going for. We've got another one lined up. Whether that'll happen, I don't know. Probably know a bit more about that on Monday.
Is that same position?
I'm not telling anybody, really. We'll have to wait and see. Really. You'll probably find out anyway. You'll be able to phone me and tell me we're signing, which is great.
And you want to give? Is it sort of someone more experienced to balance things?
I'm not mentioning a word on that. I'm sorry. I can't do that. And for the fact that I haven't got it in, he's not in the net yet. The other one you knew about, he ended up going to Dundee. So devastated I am with that. I really liked the kid. I wanted him. But that's life. This next one, there's an awful lot of people in for. So we'll have to wait and see.
You were sort of speaking after Saturday that it was kind of one of those ones where you felt you had to give it a look back. So after a bit of study and watching it through again, is there anything new you've learned or anything extra you've kind of reflected?
Yeah, I should have let that starting 11 go out with a little bit of instruction, go out and have another go. And I shouldn't have changed someone who is important to us without the ball. He does a lot of our ratting and tackling and all sorts of stuff, and he's improving day in, day out with his attacking stuff. I could have let him carry on, Gavin I'm talking about. And I could have then made some substitutions if it wasn't working, and also on the bench. I was thinking about doing something before the game, like putting Billy Bowden in and not having so much coverage on the bench, just one of the defenders or midfield defenders. And if I'd have done that, Billy would have been able to go on and maybe change that for me. So, with that bit of stardust, but it's the benefit of hindsight, isn't it? What is important is we all learn from that. Their fella scored a brilliant goal, but he beat too many of my team with one pass, a 1-2, right through the middle. And he wasn't chased and harassed till the end of that move. That's what's bugging me. Defending is about recovery. And we made a decision to try and play somebody offside if he'd have passed it. But he didn't pass it, he touched it again, didn't he? So we should have been chasing him. The other two, that wasn't their man, they should have been, hang on a minute, he's got it again, and we should have arrowed in and got at least a tackle in. You know, so, but this is learning, it's about understanding. And we've got some young people, particularly in the back area, who have only played under 21s football, so, but I like their talent, and I believe we'll, with my senior ones, we'll be able to get the right balance. And when everybody's caught up to speed, I'll have the strength that I want. But whatever anybody thinks about last year, that was last year. This is this year. So why is everything going to be the same? We got to have to earn the right. We got to learn as a group how to win. And we've lost some of the ones who helped us do that. We have. I thought Cabs, with him going, that's why I'm still looking for that sort of profile, really. I believe, because we still had the others who re-signed. We've just lost a very powerful, adult, very sensible, wonderful human being. That's what we've lost, so I'm trying to find another one. If it was Joe Wesley, I'd have had him all day long. I think because we know him. I was completely and utterly shocked that he was suddenly available. If I was Bernie, I wouldn't have done that. But there you go. So, so I'm in the market for that sort of type of, and then we see. But this year is totally different than last year. So what am I expecting? And we tailed off a winning last year. I don't want to get in a habit of losing. It's a horrible feeling. But everybody's got to earn the right to do that. And you the longer you work, the more you understand each other, the more you know each other, and we haven't even finished getting the group together yet. So you know that it is what it is. Everybody else is in the same situation, you know. And the ones I've told that they might not stay, if they don't go, I might have to reuse them. So that door will close, and then we'll get our arms around everybody. And that's why I'm as honest as I can be with everybody. At least I can look them in the eyes. And if I have told them the truth, they sometimes come back and go, "Thanks for that, Gaffer. I'll still play as with my heart out." And that's my duty, really, to let you know where you stand and what I want. And be inclusive. I think that was the biggest thing that I did when I first came here. I didn't blame anybody. And I'm not going to blame anybody now. This is about, can we learn how to win in this very, very difficult league? You know? Can we earn the right to win? Can we get some scrappy points on the board? Last week we should have at least had one. At least. But the excitement of, oh, we have scored, and then the naivety of letting a goal in like that, when all you had to do was hook it down into the corner, regain your back line instead of trying to bring it down, and then all of a sudden 1-2 and you got no points. You've lost all three. You know, how late it was as well. That's the downer. Certainly flicked the cherry off the top of me ice cream, and then the ice cream tasted awful then. So, but we're at home, we've got a wonderful pitch, we're training on it today, because some of them never played here. So that's another issue, you know. How are they going to cope with that? All I'm hoping that my senior lads can help them settle down, talk to them, encourage them. And also they got a different skill set, so we might need to do things slightly differently depending on who we're playing as well. So that's an also understanding thing.
How easy and quick is it for young players, especially defenders, to adapt to this kind of league and different physical approaches than they might have, and you know, cut out those kind of errors as quickly as they can?
That's a very good question. You also got to say how they're going to handle a crowd, how they're going to handle that sort of thing, you know. That makes a total difference, doesn't it? You know, if you look at Freckleton last year, he made a couple of mistakes and the crowd didn't like that, and he didn't handle it very well, did he? But by the end of the season, he was outstanding, and he's gone on to better things. So this is what you don't know. It is the unknown, but you go into it with a knowledge of who the person is, how desperate they are to learn, and their skill set. We got one who's 6'4", who's a first contact. He's got a wonderful left foot. He crushes some great diagonals. And then I've just got to teach him the sort of passing range that I want him to know. So how many passes is he going to have to actually play for me? Probably 7 or 8. That's it. So I got to work him with those and help him understand how many times he's going to use that one, and then use that one, and then do that one. And then he'll have an understanding of whoever he's working with and how he needs to talk. And that's the biggest thing. With your voice, you place other people in the right place to make sure that we're a strong defensive unit no matter what. And that's the bit that's difficult, you know. And if you're out there and it ain't going well and the crowd ain't happy, that's quite a difficult skill to have if you're very young, you know. So I want other people around the place, like I told him last year. Why did you leave him with it? Why aren't you encouraging him? Why didn't you say something to someone who shouted at him? Why aren't you being part of his belief structure? Why are you just walking off and leaving him? You know, so all of these things, it's not just football, it's life skills that I need to, and I got it in abundance, whether it'll work or whether it won't, whether I can get us winning, whether we will. I wish I had the optimism that everybody else has got, but I got the flat reality that I'm got to do this and take whatever's coming and try and improve us as we go along. And but it's a much better feeling than it was last year. I've got 19 extra games, or 18 now because I've lost one of them. And then you try and get in a habit. But 1-0 away, 2-1 away, losing by 1 goal, which was scored before we drew 70 minutes with an extra man. That's the bit that annoys me. We didn't even win those extra minutes. If we would, that would have cancelled out their goal they scored from a wonderful free kick. Looking at that free kick, that was, you know, I've seen my players do that. Unfortunately, on the day we didn't will it the side netting, you know, but that's life. So you got to be able to take the ups and downs, and you got to learn who you are, what part you are of this group, and then join in and start marching forward no matter what.
Last one, quickly. What's your sort of earlier assessment of Cambridge from what you've seen and what you know of the score?
Well, their new striker who don't score, hardly ever scored on his first game. He fitted in really well. The little 10, absolutely exceptional. Knight, unbelievable. What a great player he is. Used to play for Man City. So he's a total danger. And they look buoyant, which is no mean feat to Neil Harris. He took over late on last year, didn't manage to keep him up, but I know how his teams play. They make it very, very difficult for you, and if we're not careful, it'll be 2-4-4, because they'll send both fullbacks forward. He'll have 4 up on your back line. He'll try and pin you back. He'll try and get balls in the box. And his teams normally score. So, stroke of genius there, taking a striker who hasn't scored and getting him to score in his first game. So, but there you go. I'm really looking forward to it. As I say, the pitch is absolutely outstanding. We're training on it today to get the new lads used to it and get a feel of it. But it's all looking great. Absolutely great.
Good luck.
Just thinking about wanting to get the players used to different formations. Obviously, it doesn't massively change the way you're going to try and play, but do you feel like they've got that familiarity with the different things you'd like them to be able to do?
Not at all yet, no. We didn't even have time to practice against 10 men. by the time we've got everybody sorted, you normally do a scenario. You play 10 minutes where you've got a man extra and you're a goal down, or you're a man down and you got to hold on to a. We haven't done any of that yet. We haven't, and it actually happened. So it totally changed the game. So what we've had to do is look at it, show them. We tried to change it at half time, and in fairness, we did get better in the second half. We did, but I would have rather left the same team to do that, rather than make the changes as early as I did. But there you go. And we then did that on Monday. We had to carry that over. We showed them the videos of what they didn't quite get right, how long we took to get it there, when we should have done, how many we should have got in there, because it ended up, this is all too easy, and the choices weren't experienced choices, and we were probably crossing it at the wrong time, and not, it did improve in the second half with that little bit of extra guidance we gave them. But it's as a group, you need to go through things. You need to see where you are. We don't know that yet. We'll have to find that out as we go along, because I've got a few players who are inexperienced and are making a big step up. But I believe in their talent. I believe my lads that help them fit in quickly. And then it's about having time to practice this. And when we've got a game Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, you're normally only going with what happened on Saturday, who you're playing on Tuesday, and then who you got to get ready for it. So there's not really the time. We've got to try and put a time structure in, like a school times table, where we do this and that and this for player development as well as a staff. So it's not easy, but we will do it. And I'm not going to be able to pick up people who I think are good enough to play the way that I want us to do, to add to this group. I'm not going to find them on a rubbish tip. I'm not. I'm going to have to borrow them from someone, like I've managed to do with Aston Villa and Leicester. And hopefully the love that we give them, all of us here at Swindon, even though I had to go mad at one or two who let us down last week after Aidan Flint was shouting at them. He should have been celebrating with his own fans, not goading us. So that's wrong, but we should not ever behave like that. So hopefully the Swindon family understand why I told them off, because if my granddaughters do something wrong, or my grandsons, I normally tell them the truth. So that bitterly disappointed me. But I'm fiercely proud of who we are and what we're going to be trying to do with each other. So we need to show these new players some love, to get them to buy into why I talked them into coming. And there's no blame. Anybody makes a mistake, it's my fault, not theirs. And we'll put it right. And I will do everything I can to make this set of players care like the last lot did when the season ended. That's whether we win, whether we lose, there should be no difference. We should be at it, we should be on it, we should be trying our very, very best. And as long as we try our best, I don't want anybody out there to moan at them, because that won't help me at all. Do you know what I mean?
You have people like Harry and Finley who are sort of doubtful for the game. You have the Cardiff game coming up. Is it possible that you kind of try and lead them to be more fit for that game on Saturday, or do you just have to pick whatever team's needed for the weekend?
That's a very good question, young man. I will never risk anybody. My physio knows that, and I would rather be safe than then be sorry. We had a really weird incident on Saturday. Billy Kirkman hurt his hamstring as he was running at the end of the game. He was sub. He didn't get on. That shouldn't be happening, but that's the only injury we've had all pre-season, really. Do you get what I mean? Apart from knocks and... but it's all about the minutes that you get. It's all about There is nothing like playing football. There is no way you can recreate it unless you play 11v11 on a normal size pitch. There is nothing you can do about that. So it's going to be a time period before the lads are completely up to speed, and it's all about a batch of games. So anybody who isn't, I need to loan them out to make sure that they can catch up, you know, Harrison Minturn, you know, for example. But we are on that. So if it's an illness, it's a little bit different because you're not risking, it's just how he actually feels. So we've got to try and guess whether another lot of antibiotics today might make him feel a little bit better, and I might have to wait. I don't normally do that. I don't normally wait to see if someone's fit or not, but we're struggling for subs tomorrow, if I'm being brutally honest. So, and also the preparation we've done, I'm hoping that he's fit because I don't really want to have to change that. So we'll have to wait and see.
Is Billy Coleman with the hamstring?
He's not available for this weekend, so he's not in my plans. He's either sick, lame, or lazy. I think he's lame. That's how they are. I don't even talk to the injured ones. Sorry, you're sick, lame, or lazy, and I've still got to pay you. So get out of my face. It's a horrible way to be, but I'm only joking. You know how. But my focus has to be on who's available, who will be available for Tuesday, where are we, what we doing, what's the best starting, what's the best finishers, how might it work, what if we're this, who will I need there, you know, and the balance of old inexperience and experience is also into play here. Do you know what I mean? But welcome to my world.
You mentioned Harrison Minturn there. Has there been any movement with potentially trying to loan him out?
Not for anybody that he'd want to go to. So my advice to him is to go and get some more games, to catch up, and you won't make so many mistakes that you're making at the moment.